What if I told you that the reason many women after 60 feel their energy fading, their spark dimming, and their confidence slipping away is not simply because of age? The shocking truth is that in my 30 years of caring for women, I've seen time and again that it is not aging itself that steals vitality. It is the accumulation of small, hidden habits so subtle that most women never realize they are the cause. These are the habits that don't make headlines. They aren't dramatic, like smoking or serious illness. Instead, they hide quietly in daily routines: how you drink, how you move, how you rest, how you nourish yourself, and even how you interact with others. And while they seem harmless in the moment, over the years they drain energy, weaken circulation, dull confidence, and make women believe that feeling weaker or older is just part of life. But that belief is dangerous. Because the science tells a different story. According to the Mayo Clinic, the Cleveland Clinic, and research published by the NIH, these everyday habits are directly linked to fatigue, muscle loss, bone weakness, hormonal imbalance, and even faster cognitive decline. Yet because they work silently, many women accept the changes as inevitable. Hello, my dear friends. My name is Dr. Lisa Perriera. I am a board-certified gynecologist, and for over 30 years I've had the privilege of guiding women through menopause and beyond. I've listened to the same worries whispered in exam rooms across America. Women who sit across from me, often in tears, saying, "Lisa, I feel tired all the time. I feel like I'm fading. Is this just what getting old means?" And every time I take their hands and remind them, "You are not broken. Your body is not too old to feel alive." What's happening is that hidden mistakes you can absolutely correct, are quietly stealing your vitality. Let me share the story of Helen, a 67-year-old patient of mine. She was once lively and independent, but when she came to see me, she confessed that she felt 10 years older than her age. She was sleeping poorly, skipping meals, drinking mostly coffee, and avoiding her social circle because she just didn't feel like herself. Helen believed she was slipping into a decline she could not stop. But when we identified the hidden habits draining her energy and replaced them with healthier patterns, her transformation was remarkable. Within months, she said, "Lisa, I feel like myself again. I have the spark back." This is why today's conversation is so important. Because you deserve to know what these silent mistakes are before they cost you more years of energy and confidence. In this video, I'll walk you through the 5 most common habits I've seen among women over 60 that quietly rob them of their health. And I'll share practical steps you can take to reverse them. These are not complicated solutions. They are small, doable shifts that can reignite vitality and help you live each day with strength and confidence. But before we dive in, let me ask you a simple question. At what point in your day do you feel the most drained, morning, afternoon, or evening? Think about it, and please share your answer in the comments below. Your story may help another woman realize she's not alone. Now stay with me until the very end. Because once you know these 5 mistakes, you will see your daily habits in a new light. And more importantly, you will have the tools to break free from them and take back your spark after 60. The first silent mistake that drains vitality after 60 is something so simple that most women don't even consider it a health issue: not drinking enough water. Hydration is the foundation of circulation, energy, digestion, and even intimacy. Yet studies from the Mayo Clinic show that as we age, the sensation of thirst becomes less reliable. By the time you feel thirsty, your body is already mildly dehydrated. Mild dehydration doesn't just cause a dry mouth. It can create fatigue, dizziness, headaches, and even confusion. It can make skin look dull and fragile, slow down digestion, and worsen joint stiffness. And here is something many women don't realize. Hydration is directly linked to circulation and natural lubrication, both of which affect confidence and comfort in intimacy. I think of Margaret, a 68-year-old woman, who came to me complaining of feeling heavy and tired every afternoon. She believed her fatigue was a sign that her body was shutting down with age. But when we reviewed her daily habits, it turned out she was drinking less than 3 glasses of plain water each day. Most of her fluids came from coffee and tea, which actually contributed to dehydration. Once she started carrying a water bottle and sipping throughout the day, her energy began to improve. After 2 weeks, she told me her skin felt softer, her headaches were gone, and she felt lighter on her feet. Hydration is not glamorous, but it is a hidden pillar of vitality. Simple changes, drinking 6 to 8 glasses of water, daily eating water-rich fruits like cucumbers and oranges, and limiting caffeine, can reverse years of fatigue caused by low hydration. The second silent mistake is neglecting muscle strength. Many women believe that daily walking is enough, and while walking is excellent for the heart, it is not enough to protect muscles and bones. The National Institutes of Health report that after 60 women lose about 1% of muscle mass every year if they do not do resistance exercises. This loss doesn't just weaken the body, it affects circulation balance, posture, and even pelvic floor strength, which plays a key role in confidence and comfort. I will never forget Eleanor, a 72-year-old patient who told me she felt too fragile to exercise. She believed that strength training was something for younger women. But what she didn't realize was that her avoidance of muscle activity was the very reason she felt weak. She struggled to carry groceries, to climb stairs, even to enjoy outings with friends. We began with something very small, sitting and standing from a chair without using her hands 3 times a day. Later, we added light weights, the kind you can find at any local store. After 3 months, her balance improved, her energy returned, and she laughed as she told me, "I feel younger, not older, when I move." Think of your muscles like the scaffolding of a house. If you don't maintain it, the entire structure becomes unstable. But if you keep it strong, everything else, your joints, your heart, your circulation works better. So these are the first 2 mistakes: dehydration and muscle neglect. Both are silent, both are easy to overlook, and both can quietly drain years of vitality. But the encouraging truth is that when corrected, the body responds quickly. Within weeks, you can feel noticeable changes in energy stability and confidence. Now let me ask you, do you feel you're drinking enough water each day? Or is hydration something you often forget until late in the evening? Share your answer in the comments. You'll likely find many women nodding in agreement, and together you'll realize this is a challenge almost everyone faces. The third silent mistake many women over 60 make is undervaluing sleep. I often hear women say, "I'm older now, I just don't need as much sleep." But that's a myth. According to the Cleveland Clinic, adults over 60 still require 7 to 8 hours of restorative sleep each night. Sleep is not wasted time, it is the body's repair shop. While you rest, your brain clears out toxins, your hormones rebalance, your heart slows down to recover, and your cells repair microscopic damage. When you cut this process short, the consequences are subtle but powerful. Low sleep can raise stress hormones, increase blood pressure, and worsen memory problems. Over time, it makes you feel older, not because of age, but because your body has been denied the chance to reset. Barbara, a 70-year-old patient of mine, believed she was doing fine with 4 or 5 hours of sleep. She used late-night television as her companion, often knitting until past midnight. When she came to see me, she described brain fog, brittle skin, and constant fatigue. She thought these were inevitable with age. But once we worked on her sleep hygiene, reducing caffeine after lunchtime, creating a cool, dark bedroom, and setting a consistent bedtime, her body responded. After a few weeks of 7-hour nights, she told me, "I feel sharper. My mornings are brighter, and my mood is lighter." Sleep had not just improved her energy, It gave her a sense of renewal. The fourth silent mistake is not getting enough protein. After 60, many women's appetites decrease, and they rely on light meals, toast in the morning, crackers in the afternoon, a little soup at dinner. While these foods can be comforting, they lack the essential building blocks your body desperately needs. The NIH recommends at least 1 to 1.2 grams of protein per kilogram of body weight each day for older adults. For a woman who weighs 65 kilograms, that means 65 to 75 grams of protein daily. Without it, muscles shrink faster, bones weaken, hair thins, and healing slows. Protein is not just for bodybuilders, it is for maintaining independence, stability, and vitality. I recall Rose, 66 years old, who came to me worried about her thinning hair and constant tiredness. She was eating little more than tea toast and small snacks throughout the day. She believed eating less would keep her slim, but her body was starving for protein. When we introduced yogurt, beans, eggs, and lean meats into her meals, the difference was striking. Within weeks, she had more energy, her hairdresser noticed her hair looked fuller, and her mood improved. Rose said, "I didn't realize food could give me back my strength." Think of protein as the bricks that rebuild your house each day. If you don't have enough bricks, the walls slowly crumble. But when you supply your body with the right building materials, it rebuilds stronger, more resilient, and more vibrant. So mistake number 3 is not respecting the power of sleep, and mistake number 4 is underestimating protein. Both of these are easy to dismiss as normal aging issues. But in reality, they are lifestyle patterns you can change. Add a protein-rich food to every meal, create a calming bedtime ritual, and you'll be amazed at how quickly your energy and confidence return. And now, I'd like to hear from you. On average, how many hours of sleep do you get each night? 5, 6, or 7 and above? Share your answer in the comments. Sometimes just seeing how others struggle with the same issue can be the motivation to make a change. The fifth silent mistake that quietly drains vitality after 60 is social withdrawal. Many women don't even realize they are doing it. At first, it seems harmless. You spend more time at home, you stop attending social gatherings, and you put off phone calls with friends. Maybe you tell yourself you are just tired, or that you don't want to bother anyone. But over time, this slow retreat into isolation has powerful effects on both body and mind. The National Institute on Aging has shown that loneliness and social isolation increase the risk of depression, heart disease, cognitive decline, and even shorten lifespan. In other words, isolation is not just an emotional issue, it becomes a physical health risk. When we stop connecting with others, our brains lose stimulation, our hearts lose motivation, and our spirits lose the light that helps us carry on. I think of Eleanor, a 74-year-old widow who came to me for a routine exam. Physically, she was healthy. Her blood pressure was normal, her weight stable, and she had no major medical problems. But when I asked her how she was feeling, she began to cry. "I feel invisible," she said. "I don't go out anymore. My children live far away, and I don't want to burden my friends. I sit at home most days and just wait for time to pass." Her words broke my heart. Eleanor wasn't suffering from illness, she was suffering from isolation. Together, we came up with small steps, attending a local book club once a month, volunteering at a food pantry twice a month, and making one phone call each day to a friend or relative. Within weeks, her demeanor changed. When she returned to my office 3 months later, she had a sparkle in her eyes. She told me, "I feel alive again. I even laugh out loud." I had forgotten what that felt like. Social connection is more than a pastime, it is medicine. It stimulates the brain, lowers stress, strengthens immunity, and even improves sleep. It creates purpose, something every woman needs no matter her age. Think of your spirit like a garden. When you isolate yourself, it's as if the soil dries out the plants, wither, and weeds take over. But when you nourish it with sunlight, water, and care through laughter, conversation, and shared moments, the garden blooms again. This is why I tell my patients that investing in relationships is as important as exercise or diet. A phone call, a shared meal, or a simple walk with a neighbor can do more for your health than any expensive supplement. And just like muscles, the more you use your social connections, the stronger they become. So the fifth mistake is social withdrawal. It creeps in quietly, often disguised as resting or not wanting to bother others, but it slowly steals joy, energy, and vitality. The good news is that reconnecting doesn't have to be complicated. Start small. Call an old friend, join a class at your local community centre, or invite a neighbour for tea. Those little steps can restore not just your social life, but your health. Now I want to ask you directly, do you feel you're connecting with others enough? Or do you sometimes find yourself pulling away? Share your answer in the comments. You may discover that many other women feel the same way, and that realization alone can spark the courage to reach out. We have now uncovered the 5 silent habits that quietly drain the vitality of women after 60. The first is not drinking enough water, leaving the body chronically dehydrated. The second is neglecting muscle strength, which slowly robs balanced circulation and confidence. The third is undervaluing sleep, the very time when your body repairs itself. The fourth is not getting enough protein, depriving your body of the building blocks it needs to remain strong. And the fifth is withdrawing socially, which dims your spirit and shortens your years. Each of these habits on its own may not seem like much. A skipped glass of water a day without movement, a few late nights, a light meal, or choosing to stay home, these don't feel like life-changing events. But together, repeated day after day, they create the fatigue, weakness, and low confidence that so many women mistakenly blame on aging. The truth is, much of what we call getting old is really the effect of habits that can be changed. And that is the most important message I want to leave you with today. It is never too late to change. Your body is not broken. Your spirit is not too old. With small, consistent steps, you can restore energy, protect circulation, and reclaim confidence at any age. I often tell my patients to think of their vitality like a lamp. Over time, hidden habits are like dust settling on the bulb. The light grows dim, not because the bulb is weak, but because it is covered. When you clean away the dust by hydrating, strengthening muscles, respecting sleep, eating protein, and connecting with others, the brightness returns. And everyone can see it. More importantly, you feel it within yourself. I remember Helen, a woman I mentioned earlier, who once thought she was fading for good. By changing just 2 habits, hydrating and adding protein, she began to feel lighter. Later, she added gentle exercises and rejoined her church choir. Within months, she said, "I feel like I've come back to life." That is the power of changing what seems small. So here is my challenge for you this week. Choose just one of these 5 habits and take a small step. Maybe it's keeping a glass of water by your chair. Maybe it's doing 3 chair squats each day. Maybe it's calling a friend you miss. Pick one and notice how even a tiny change can begin to restore your spark. Then, when you are ready, add another. Small steps taken consistently lead to transformation. Now, I would love to hear from you. Which of these 5 habits do you feel most connected to right now? Which one feels like it might be quietly draining you? Share your answer in the comments. By sharing your story, you not only take the first step for yourself, you may inspire another woman in this community to do the same. And if this video spoke to you, please give it a like and subscribe to our channel. That way you stay connected to more conversations like this, and together we can build a supportive space where women over 60 thrive. And before we close, let me remind you this video is for educational purposes only. It does not replace medical advice. Every woman's body is unique. If you are experiencing significant changes or have personal concerns, please consult with your healthcare provider. Your well-being deserves personalized care.